In radio and television, it's RCA all the way. The Radio Corporation of America presents The Magic Key. Your host, the family of RCA, whose members include RCA Laboratories, RCA Victor, Radio Marine, RCA Communications, and the National Broadcasting Company. The Magic Key turns. Today we devote a portion of our program to an action preview of Army Day, conducted under the personal supervision of the United States Army General Staff, headed by General Mayland with the regular Army participating. First, we invite you to listen to the popular American baritone Conrad Thibault and Frank Black, now conducting the Magic Key Orchestra in a medley of Army favorites. Here's RCA Victor's contribution to good times. A brand new automatic record-changing RCA Victrola at $129.95 FOB Camden, New Jersey, including $17.50 worth of Victor or Bluebird records of your choice. Add in the Victor Record Society privileges and your dealer trade-in allowance, and the actual cost for this splendid instrument comes to well under $100. The lowest price automatic RCA Victrola console 1 year ago sold for exactly $199.95, or virtually twice as much. The Good Times RCA Victrola is a remarkable value, with gentle action automatic record changing, crystal pickup, top-loading needle socket and automatic needle cup, electric tuning radio, 12-inch speaker, and handsome console cabinet with concealed controls. This automatic instrument has newer features than models which sold 1 year ago for $200 and up. You save 3 ways by buying now. First, a new low price of $129.95 FOB Camden. Second, a bonus of $17.50 worth of Victor or Bluebird records and Victor Record Society membership. Third, your RCA Victor dealer will offer you a liberal trade-in allowance. Conrad Thibault, popular young American baritone, sings for us now Bob McJimsey's Shadrach.
There was 3 children from the land of Israel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, and they took a trip to the land of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, he took a lot of gold and he made an idol. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. And he told everybody, when you hear the music of the cornet and the flute and the harp, you must fall down and worship the idol. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. But the children of Israel would not bow down. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego couldn't fool them with a golden idol. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. I said you couldn't fool them with the golden idol. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. So the king put the children in the fiery furnace. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego heaped on the coals and the red-hot brimstone. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego 7 times hotter, hotter than it ought to be. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego burn up the soldiers the king had put there. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Lord, an angel with snowy white wings down in the middle of the furnace talked to the children about the power of the gospel. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Well, it couldn't even burn a hair on the head of Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, laughing and a-talking while the fire was a-jumping round. Ha, ha, ha! Meshach, Abednego. Now Nebuchadnezzar called, hey now, when he saw the power of the Lord, and had a big time in the house of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego. Oh, Abednego.
Conrad Thibault singing The Trumpeter by J. L. E. Dix.
Trumpeter, what are you sounding now? Is it the call I'm seeking? You'll know the call, said the trumpeter tall, when my trumpet I'm rousing 'em up, I'm waking 'em up. The tents are astir in the valley, and there's no more sleep with the sun's first peep. For I'm sounding the old trumpeter, what are you sounding now? Is it the call I'm seeking? Can't mistake the call, said the trumpeter tall, when my trumpet goes a-speaking. I'm urging 'em on, they're scampering on. There's a drumming of hoofs like thunder. There's a maddening shout as the sabers flash out. For I'm sounding the charge. No
As citizens, we are all interested in the operations of our government. It has become the privilege of radio to familiarize Americans with what government is doing in its many and diversified manifestations. Later, we bring you the United States Army, presenting a graphic report of its activities in the national defense. A few months ago, the United States Navy gave on this program a demonstration of its preparedness. But the National Broadcasting Company also broadcasts on numerous programs, month in and month out, information about the activities of various government departments and branches. So there is provided by radio a continuous, lively, and up-to-date panorama of the business of the United States, mirrored for the public by the American system of broadcasting. Frank Black and the Magic Key Orchestra have just played John Philip Sousa's stirring patriotic march, The Stars and Stripes Forever.
Listen for the familiar NBC chimes, your signal for fine radio entertainment.
Today, the Magic Key is pleased to dedicate the rest of its program to an action preview by radio of Army Day, to be celebrated throughout the country on Thursday, April 6th. Present in our studios is the General Staff of the United States Army, headed by General Mayland Craig, Chief of Staff. General Craig.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? First, we contact the Philippines Department, our furthest outpost. Its commander is Major General John H. Hughes. General Hughes?
Good morning. Good morning, General Craig. It is just 3:19 a.m. Monday morning here. But I have a group of officers around me listening intently to this program.
It is good to hear your voice again, Johnny. Go on back to bed. Next, we have Hawaii. Our forces there are commanded by Major General Charles D. Herron. General Herron? General Herron.
Good morning, General Craig. It is 8:49 o'clock Sunday morning here in beautiful Hawaii.
Continue standing by, will you, Charlie? In Alaska, we have the 2nd Battalion of the 7th Infantry stationed at Chilkoot Barracks. This is commanded by Major Louis W. Amos. Major Amos?
Good morning, General. It is 10:20 a.m. Speaking through the facilities of the Alaska Communication System, operated by the Signal Corps of the Army.
Thank you, Amos. At the important Panama Canal, we have Major General David L. Stone, who commands the defenses down there. General Stone?
Good afternoon, General Craig. It is 2 p.m. and all is well in the canal zone.
It's a pleasure to hear that, Davy. We're right back on the same time zone again, thank heaven. I get all mixed up in talking to you fellas tomorrow and getting your answers yesterday. All posts listen in. The day set apart as Army Day is April 6th, the memorable day when the United States entered the World War in 1917. The observance of that day is under the sponsorship of the Military Order of the World War. In communities, civilian committees are arranging details. The Army joins with those committees in extending to the public a cordial invitation to visit our Army posts throughout the nation on next Thursday, April 6th, and to inspect our troops and installations. This Army is your Army. We deeply appreciate your support of our endeavors to provide an effective defense for our United States. Today, through the courtesy of the Magic Key program, we have arranged a radio preview of Army Day in order to illustrate the coordination which exists between the troops in the field and the directing heads of the General Staff in Washington. Each demonstration will be introduced by the controlling chief of each division of the General Staff, who are seated on the stage with me here at Radio City. First of all is the Chief of Staff, G1, who has charge of personnel, Brigadier General Lorenzo D. Gasser. General Gasser?
One activity of G1 pertains to schools. Today, all attention is being focused on the schools where West Point graduates and civilian trains to become Air Corps officers. The Air Corps Training Center comprises Randolph and Kelly Fields in Texas. Kelly Field, stand by. Come in, Randolph Field.
This is Colonel Brooks, commanding officer of the Air Corps Primary Flying School at Randolph Field, Texas. We have 3 courses a year here. The first one, for 1939, started just 1 month ago. Typical scenes occurring then, when flying cadets were arriving by the busload, follow.
Coming down,
Sir, new flying cadet Marion J. Kaiser of Quitman, Georgia, reports as ordered.
Sir, new flying cadet Genevieve J.R., Brooklyn, New York, reports coming down as ordered, sir.
Sir, new flying cadet Frank N. Grace from LaGrange, Illinois, reports as ordered.
Sir, new flying cadet Barnes James H. Boonville, Missouri, reports to the commandant as ordered.
And soon after the cadets arrived, instruction commenced. At the present time, these men are practicing landings. Lieutenant Burns is at the field to check them in and point out their errors. Listen.
That was a good one. Now watch this one. He approached the field correctly. He leveled off all right. Up. Too high. He's going to pancake. He was too high and he lost his speed. He's going to bounce. Give her the gun, mister. Give her the gun.
That wasn't a very good landing, was it, sir?
Well, I've seen higher bounces, but he pulled out of that one nicely.
Would you give him a passing mark on that one, sir?
Yes. He rates above average on that due to his recovery after the bounce.
Very good, Lieutenant Burns. We have all heard of the military and commercial aircraft flying on the radio beam. We teach cadets how to fly the beam by means of the link trainer. A class is now being conducted. Captain Moore, describe and demonstrate it.
The link trainer is a vest pocket edition of a small airplane with clipped wings, mounted on a pedestal here in the classroom, and is large enough to hold one man. It can move in all directions as the student handles the controls. The cockpit where he is seated is covered by a hood so he cannot see out. He has a complete set of instruments and must fly entirely by them. Cadet Kaiser is now under the hood, executing one phase of instrument flying. Mr. Kaiser, get on the beam.
Getting on, sir. On the course, sir.
You are hearing the steady sound of the beam which the pilot hears when he is on it. In this problem, if the pilot happens to veer to the right, the signal changes to an A. Mr. Kaiser, take the right of the beam.
Yes, sir.
And if he flies to the left of the beam, the signal is exactly the opposite. Mr. Kaiser, take the left of the beam.
Changing to the left, sir.
You can hear the steady sound of the beam as the pilot swings through it. Now he is on the left of it.
Thank you, Captain Moore. By means of these beams which connect all important airports in the United States, invisible but safe airways are definitely outlined in the air. Upon completion of the course at Randolph Field, cadets are transferred to Kelly Field, which is under the command of Colonel Lackland.
This is Colonel Lackland, commanding officer of the Air Corps Advanced Flying School at Kelly Field, Texas. I'm speaking from the Aerodrome Control Tower at Kelly Field. From this point, we can see several planes flying on student training missions. In one of them, Cadet Riddle is receiving training in instrument flying. He is practicing in the air what he learned in the link trainer at Randolph Field. We will listen in on that plane and hear Cadet Riddle and his instructor, Lieutenant Devitt. Go ahead, instrument.
This is Lieutenant Devitt in an instrument flying plane flying near Kelly Field. With me is Cadet Riddle, who is receiving instruction in instrument flying. This is Cadet Riddle. My instructor, Lieutenant Devitt, has just told you that I'm flying by instruments. My cockpit is entirely covered by a canvas hood. I will endeavor to execute correctly such maneuvers my instructor directs. So we're now flying straight and level at 2,500 feet. Very well, Mr. Riddle. Now make a 180-degree turn, medium bank. Very well, sir.
We will leave the instrument flying plane and listen to the instructor and student in a two-engine bombardment plane that is preparing to take off. Go ahead, B-18.
This is Captain Spidey in the cockpit of a B-18. Cadet Brown is receiving instruction in takeoff and landing of multi-engine planes and is flying as the pilot. I am sitting beside him with duplicate controls, flying as co-pilot and instructor. Are you ready, Mr. Brown?
All controls checked and ready to take off, sir.
All right. Open throttle slowly and evenly to correct manifold pressure. And be sure to lock them in correct position. Hold it there. Don't use your brake. Lift the tail slightly off the ground. Ease back on the wheel when you reach 90 miles an hour. Now it's off. Raise your landing gear.
Landing gear raised and locked, sir. That was nothing like a BT-9.
No, indeed. You are flying a plane weighing 22,000 pounds with two 1,000 horsepower engines.
We will tune in again on the instrument flying plane. Go ahead, instrument.
On course, sir. Okay. Fly a course of 360 degrees and intercept the west leg of the Kelly Field beam. Very well, sir. Just cross the beam, sir. Okay, make a 270-degree turn. Follow the beam to the cone of silence over Kelly Field.
The B-18 is in the air and circling the field. Let's listen to it again. Go ahead, B-18.
Sir, is this rate of climb okay? That's okay. About 300 feet a minute. Hold that to 1,500 feet. And remember that the manifold pressure falls off as the altitude increases.
Very well, sir.
That's good. Set your propellers, throttle for cruising. Keep your eyes open for other planes, and remember you have many instruments to check.
Sir, it keeps the pilot pretty busy watching all those instruments and traffic, too.
That's right. But that's the reason we have a pilot and a co-pilot on these large planes. Circle the field and go in for a landing.
Very well, sir. Shall we call the control tower for permission to land? We will return to the instrument flying plane while the B-18 is approaching for landing. Go ahead, instrument.
Over at Kelly Field now, sir. Okay, open your hood and land. Very well, sir.
The B-18 is preparing to land. Let's listen. Go ahead, B-18.
There's the green light from the control tower. Get ready for landing. I'll put the wheels down. Ease back on the throttle. Tell me when you want the flap. Flap, sir. Hold it straight. Watch your airspeed. Get your left wing up. Steady now. 90 miles. 85 miles. Get your left wing up. That's just right. We're getting close to the ground now. Ease back on the wheel. Watch your nose. Don't let the nose get up too high. Keep that left wing up. 75. More yet. Hold it. Hold it. Nose up. Hold it. There we are. She's down in good shape.
Another happy landing, General Gasser.
Good, Colonel Lackland. General Craig.
Next, we call upon the Operations and Training Division of the General Staff, or G3. Its chief is Major General Robert Beck. General Beck?
As a preview of our intensive spring training period, I have arranged with Brigadier General Asa L. Singleton, commanding the infantry school at Fort Benning, Georgia, for a demonstration of the infantry artillery team in action. General Singleton?
General Singleton, at Fort Benning, Georgia. We will now simulate an actual scene of infantry in battle supported by light field artillery, 75-millimeter guns. At present, I'm at the observation post of the 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry. Several hills are held by a hostile force, and 2 of our companies are advancing towards these objectives. The 3rd Company is to my left rear in reserve. The Heavy Weapons Company is stationed along the edge of the woods to my right, supporting the action. Colonel Charles W. Thomas, commanding the battalion, has been observing the advance through his field glasses and is discussing his observation with Major Hoffman, his plans and training officer.
Hoffman, our left company is going ahead nicely, but our right company is held up.
Yes, sir. That hill 274 is a tough spot.
There must be a lot of machine guns there holding it up. We need some artillery fire on them.
I'll call the artillery liaison officer.
Oh, please. Yes, sir. We need a concentration on Hill 274 as soon as you can get it. Enemy machine guns there are holding us up.
I'll arrange it, Colonel. Radio, send this message. Present artillery concentration 211 is falling 300 yards left, 200 yards short. Machine guns holding up Company F. Request entire battalion. I can adjust fire.
Amazon calling Apache. Amazon calling Apache. Message to battalion commander. Present artillery concentration.
This is General Singleton again. Let us go to one of the batteries about a mile to the rear and hear the commands for the execution of this message. The battery executive is now giving these commands to the 4 guns.
Base deflection right 130. On number 1, open 6. Sight 305. Shell mark 1, fuse long. Battery 2 rounds sweeping 5 mils. Zone 3,200.
Ready. Ready.
General Singleton at the observation post. Colonel Charles White, who commands the entire regiment, has just arrived. Colonel White, what is the situation?
General, our regimental advance is being held up because of hostile machine gun fire from that hill. If this battalion takes the hill, the whole regiment can go ahead.
With artillery support, there won't be much more delay.
Lieutenant, here's a message from the Fire Direction Center. Entire battalion available for the firing requested. Battalion is ready to fire. Okay, give the command to fire. Fire!
Colonel Thomas,
All three batteries firing on Hill 274.
Fine, your artillery is right on it. Our infantry mortars are firing on it, too. Good. The hostile machine gun fire has stopped. Colonel White, the entire regiment can advance now.
Company F is moving already, General Singleton.
And that is the way the infantry and artillery cooperate in battle. The demonstration is completed, General Beck.
Thank you, General Singleton. General Craig?
The next division of the General Staff is G2, or Military Intelligence, whose chief is Colonel E.R. Warner McCabe. Colonel McCabe?
One of our important wartime duties is the securing of information of the enemy. Two of our most important arms are the cavalry and the Air Corps. And so I have arranged a short demonstration of the mechanized cavalry Air Corps team at Fort Knox, Kentucky, commanded by Brigadier General Admiral R. Chaffee. General Chaffee.
General Chaffee, speaking from Fort Knox, Kentucky. Assume that a hostile force of infantry and mechanized cavalry has penetrated inland. Airplanes of the 12th Observation Squadron are scouting the hostile force. Our mechanized cavalry left our concentration area at noon today and is now advancing in order to locate the enemy. 16 of our armored cars are feeling out the enemy column. I'm speaking from my armored command car. Contact is expected at any moment.
BU-4 calling JY-4. BU-4 calling JY-4.
Plane reporting in, sir. Go ahead. BU-4.
Hostile forces crossing south side Blue River, vicinity Smithtown. Acknowledge.
Okay, BU-4.
Smithtown. That's just about 30 miles ahead of us. Colonel Keyes, those aerial photographs dropped by the plane about 10 minutes ago should be ready now. Let me have them.
Here they are, sir. Today in our demonstration, they show the enemy crossing at Smithtown, using two bridges about 1 mile apart and marching south on Dixie Highway and the U.S. number 31W. By now, the heads of their columns must be 10 miles south of Smithtown. I estimate at least one regiment. Our advance guard ought to be running into them soon.
Here's a message, sir. Advance guard held up by fire from hostile mechanization Sheridan Hill, 12 miles south of Smithtown. Acknowledge.
All right, operator. Colonel Keyes, order the machine gun troop 1st Cavalry to support the advance guard. Regimental commanders join me at Sheridan Hill. Instruct observation aviation to report disposition of hostile forces.
Orders to the machine gun troop 1st Cavalry. Orders to the machine gun troop 1st Cavalry. Here's the advance guard commander reporting, General.
I estimate the enemy force in my front. One machine gun troop with machine guns, no artillery. Considerable enemy activity north.
Regimental commander standing by, General. JY-4 to all stations. Attack order.
Attack at once. Driving enemy in direction Smithtown. 1st Cavalry, deliver the main blow in direction Burnt Mill and assemble there. 68th Field Artillery, support attack. Prepare for forward displacement. 13th Cavalry in reserve. 12th Observation Squadron, conduct battle reconnaissance. Watch for signs of enemy withdrawal. Move out. There goes the attack. All right. Go ahead. Colonel McCabe, when this demonstration is completed, we will have essential information of the enemy's strength and location.
This information will enable you, General Craig, to issue your further orders.
And now the War Plans Division of the General Staff, headed by Brigadier General George V. Strong. General Strong?
One of the many activities of the War Plans Division is the protection of our harbors and naval bases at home and overseas by means of seacoast fortifications. It may surprise many of our listeners to learn that the armament of most of these fortifications includes not only big guns that shoot over the sea, but a powerful weapon beneath the surface of the sea. To give you an idea of what I mean, I have arranged to talk with Captain Rubin aboard the Army's newest mine planter, the Ellery W. Niles, commanded and manned by the Coast Artillery Corps. Come in, Captain Rubin.
Captain Rubin, aboard Ellery W. Niles, sir.
State your position.
We are in San Francisco Harbor, sir.
Describe briefly your mine planter.
She is a streamlined ship, painted battleship gray, 185 feet long, sir.
What is your mission today?
We are laying a minefield, sir.
Carry on. The mines which the mine planter Ellery Niles is preparing to plant are electrically controlled from shore. They are firmly anchored in position so that they cannot become a menace to navigation. Unlike naval mines, which explode on contact, the coast artillery mines are completely controlled to fire either on contact or by electrical control from shore. Captain Rubin, what operation are you engaged in now?
We have just completed laying the cable from our shore control station to this area, where we are about to plant the first mine.
Let us hear this operation.
Yes, sir. Prepare for planting mines. The number 10 mine, which is the first one to be placed in the center of the line of 19, is now being suspended from the port mine and anchor davits.
Bert, ready for mine planting? Bert, number 10 ready. And by.
Let's go!
All clear!
Left rudder, sir. Full speed ahead on the starboard engine. Starboard engine full ahead, sir. Full speed ahead on the forward engine. Forward engine full ahead, sir.
We are now executing the turn for a second run to plant the next mine. The process is continued until the entire group of 19 is planted. The number of groups to be planted depends on the nature of the area to be mined.
It must be remembered that friendly ships can always enter a harbor because these mines are controlled. Captain Rubin, cease operations and stand by. As I have stated, we also protect our naval bases and other vital seacoast areas by heavy, long-range coast defense guns. General Herron in Hawaii.
Herron speaking. Good morning, General Strong.
Good afternoon, General Herron. Please proceed with your salute to Army Day.
A Coast Artillery battery of heavy guns is engaged in conducting target practice. We visit first the plotting room of the battery where computations are made.
Stand by. Stand by. Down the equipment. Report. Sir, please run along in order. Sir, please run along in order. Sir, traffic report order. Sir, this is water in order. Sir, number 1 is correct in order. Sir, number 2 is correct in order. Sir, flight board in order. Sir, range translator in order. Sir, range recorder in order. Sir, flight section in order. Sir, flying home in order. Range section in order, sir. That's loud meteorological message. Ballistic correction. Wind azimuth, 1,400 mils. 1,400, sir. Wind velocity, 27 miles per hour. 27, sir. Atmospheric density, 97%. 97, sir. Temperature of air, 84 degrees. 84, sir. Temperature of powder, 82 degrees. 82, sir. Muzzle velocity, 2740 feet per second. 2740, sir. Time, +3 feet. +3, sir. Rotation of Earth, approximate azimuth, 26 degrees. 26, sir. Weight of projectile, 2340 pounds. 2340, sir. Useful powder charge, 840 pounds. 840, sir. Battery, and hunt! Target! Target! Waikiki right. Waikiki right. Waikiki right. High-speed target.
High-speed target.
High-speed target. Traveling right to left.
Traveling right to left. Traveling right to left.
Report when on target.
B prime observer on target. B second observer on target.
Track.
We're in the plotting room of one of the large batteries guarding Pearl Harbor. In this underground fortification, all calculations are made as to the target's position, course, and speed. These calculations are based on a system of triangulation and are necessary to determine the direction and range to set the gun. The marks you hear marks off equal intervals of time and serve to synchronize all observations. Since the target is moving at a high speed, and since it may take a minute or more for the projectile to travel from the gun to the target, it is necessary to aim the gun sometimes as much as a half-mile ahead of the target's position. In the background, you hear the calculations being made. These calculations are the result of observations coming in by phone from strategically placed observers. The battery is prepared to open fire. Let's listen to the business end of loading and firing a big gun.
Number 1 gun. Number 2 gun. Number 2 gun. Fire 2 battery salvo. Fire 2 rounds. Command firing.
Fired and the shots are on their way. The guns are reloaded. The spotting observers are watching for the fall of the shot and will report how close they fell to the target by telephone to the plotting room. The guns are reloaded and ready for the second salvo.
Over 40 yards.
Target destroyed. It has disappeared.
He's firing. Roll station.
Demonstration completed, General Herron.
General Strong, it has been a pleasure to present a phase of our duties instant to the protection of our great railroad base, upon which our Navy depends in its far-flung operations, defending our Pacific coastline from the Aleutian Islands in Alaska to the Panama Canal.
Well done, General Herron. The Coast Artillery at Hawaii has completed our demonstration, General Craig.
The remaining division of the General Staff is G4, or the department which has charge of supply and transportation, headed by Brigadier General George P. Tyner. General Tyner?
One function of my division is to provide our Army with the most modern equipment, anti-aircraft guns, and airplanes. Calling Brigadier General Frederick H. Smith at Fort Monroe, Virginia.
General Smith, commanding Fort Monroe, Virginia.
Calling Major General DeLoss C. Emmons, commanding the General Headquarters Air Force at Langley Field, Virginia.
General Emmons at Langley Field, Virginia.
Please demonstrate the use of airplanes and anti-aircraft guns in attacking and defending Fort Monroe.
General Emmons at Langley Field to General Smith at Fort Monroe. The 2nd Bombardment Group of 12 flying fortresses will take the air immediately and simulate a hostile force.
The 8th Pursuit Group will warm up and stand by for further orders from you.
General Smith to General Emmons. Very good. All anti-aircraft guns are now alerted. Civilian and military observers, telephones in hand, are scattered over a radius of hundreds of miles. The nerve center of this defense setup is the command post from which I am speaking. Listen.
Flag. Madagascar 9-7. 30 bombers high, flying west.
Monroe to Langley. 30 bombers high, flying west at Madagascar 9-7.
Langley to Monroe. Okay.
Smith speaking. The message, Madagascar 9-7, identifies observer Fred Jones, a farmer on the eastern shore of Maryland. Listen to Langley Field.
Take off. Circle aerodrome at 10,000. Repeat. Route to all squadrons. Take off. Circle aerodrome at 10,000.
Smith, pursuit in air. Group assembly 10,000. Awaiting your orders.
Smith to Emmons. Okay. Here's another report.
Flash. Madrid 3-2. 30 bombers high, flying west.
Pursuit Group Commander. 30 bombers at Madrid. 3-2 high. Intercept.
Squadron commanders, 30 bombers, high, 15,000. Formation, B of squadron, echelon, 4,000 feet. Course, 90 degrees. 33rd Squadron attack. 35 Squadron support. 36th Squadron reserve. Execute. 33rd to group, okay. 36th to group, okay. 36th to group, okay.
The pursuit commander has given his orders. The second message was from Frank Walters, a station agent at Hillsburg. His report and that from Madagascar gave us the course of the hostile fleet. A civilian observer watches the demonstration from high above the battle. Let's hear his description.
We speak from a flying fortress, B-17, flying high above the 54 planes of the 8th Pursuit Group that took off on the orders of their commander just a few moments ago. Right now, there are 3 squadrons spread out quite widely searching for the enemy bombers as they are directed from the ground crew. There, one man is signaling. He sees the bombers. Where are they? Are they north or east? Are they above or below their position? There they are. He sees them out to the east, just specks of them. About 1, 2, 5, I should say about 30 of them there to the east. They're growing like balloons now as they approach. And now the pursuit is spreading for the attack. We see one squadron is climbing to the right. One squadron is climbing up to the left, and the assault squadron, the middle one, is circling in the sun to get up and behind the enemy. They're coming in behind them now. And now they turn as one man and are following the enemy formation. Orange flames spurt from the noses of those 18 ships. They're firing now. Oh, now down from nowhere comes the squadron from the left. They're just streaks of light, 3 waves of 6 each. puffs of smoke that spit from their noses to their place. Tracer bullets are now appearing all around the enemy like a swarm of bees. The enemy are caught in a withering crossfire from these two squadrons. The enemy formation wavers so much as if it had just run aground, a boat running aground, and they break up rapidly and scatter. The diving squadron are pulled out in a screaming, climbing turn. And now the unit to the rear dives to position. Well, it's all over so very, very quickly. 3 bombers are gone. We hear the pursuit commander reporting to Fort Monroe. Listen.
Pursuit to Monroe. Combat ended. 27 bombers proceeding west. 20,000.
General Smith speaking. 3 bombers down. 27 bombers approaching the inner line.
Flash. 6 attack planes, low, heading west over OP3.
Attack planes always work with bombers. They're flying low, skimming treetops. All approaches to the fort are covered with anti-aircraft and machine gun batteries. Attack plane! Come in! Fire! Has passed. That was the gas alarm, and everyone has put on gas masks and protective clothing.
Flash. Enemy bombers high, coming in over OP2.
Target! Bombers! Tight finder on target! Pressure on target. Get okay. And fire!
The bombers have now passed out of range. General Emmons at Langley Field, this demonstration is completed.
Thank you, General Smith. And well it indicated the teamwork of the Army Air Corps with the anti-aircraft artillery. General Tyner in New York.
Ably done, General Smith and General Emmons. General Craig.
General Gasser, will you please bring in all participating stations?
Calling Randolph Field, Texas.
Colonel Brooks at Randolph Field, Texas.
Calling Kelly Field, Texas.
Colonel Lackland at Kelly Field, Texas.
Calling Fort Knox, Kentucky.
General Chaffee at Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Calling Fort Benning, Georgia.
General Singleton at Fort Benning, Georgia.
Calling Mine Planter Ellery W. Niles in San Francisco Harbor.
Captain Rubin on the Mine Planter Niles in San Francisco Harbor.
Calling Hawaii.
General Herron in Hawaii.
Calling Fort Monroe, Virginia.
General Smith, Fort Monroe, Virginia.
Calling the General Headquarters Air Force at Langley Field.
General Emmons at Langley Field, Virginia.
Gentlemen, the Chief of Staff.
Upon completion of this program, all posts will resume their normal training activities. The General Staff of the United States Army is most gratified to be able, through the facilities of the Magic Key program, to give to the public this radio preview of Army Day. I hope that many citizens will visit our Army posts on Thursday, April 6th. I promise them enjoyment on seeing the many activities which are so vividly demonstrated today. It is particularly fitting that we conclude our Army Day demonstration at West Point, where the 160-voice chapel choir of the United States Military Academy sings the corps.